Hello, and welcome back to the Simplifiers podcast, where we take topics in work and in life and simplify them. And friends, we've been on such a roll lately. I'm so excited to dive into deeper conversations about people leader enablement. You know, our people managers, they really are the culture drivers across your entire organization. And if we don't work to upskill them and give them the tools in their tool belt to do great work as a manager, as a coach, as a mentor, and as a transformational leader, I think we're doing ourselves a disservice. So today's topic is simplifying how to build a strong culture as a people manager. And my special guest today, I'm so thrilled for you guys to meet him. His name is Andre Young. He's a professional speaker, author, leadership trainer, and the founder of You Evolving Now. He has worked as a mental health therapist for 19 years, played sports at every single level from high school to professional. And if you're looking at the video now, you probably can tell why. And he's been an employee, a business owner, and he's also been self-employed. He's written 5 books focused on enhancing leadership and work-life harmony. As the founder of You Evolving Now, his mission is to enhance leadership and work-life harmony for organizations, leaders, employees, and teams with his high-energy, interactive, culture-impacting leadership training programs and speaking engagements. So I'd like to welcome to the Simplifiers podcast, Andre Young. Hey, Andre.
Well, Mary, thank you for having me. I want you to read all of my stuff. That was so well read and nice. And hi, everybody out there listening. Thank you for having me.
So I'm just thrilled that you're here. And I can definitely tell you are a dynamic speaker and trainer out in the world. But let's get the sports part out of the way. I'm guessing football. Yes. Football, basketball, baby.
You are correct. Football. I picked up a football when I was 13 and I married it. That was a beautiful sport for me to play for a while.
And did you coach at all as well?
No, I did not want to coach. It wasn't my thing. I really wasn't a great teacher back then. So it's very surprising. And I think anybody who knows me from back then to now would be shocked that I do what I do. However, both of my sons do want to coach. And my one son's a quarterback. He just committed to a college and he wants to coach when he's finished playing. So they'll be out there. I coached my kids myself on our own time.
Of course. Yeah. And I mean, that's probably the hardest job in the world for sure is parenting. And you learn a lot from that, which also helps you, I think, be a good trainer out in the world. But we're talking about people managers. And here's the reality. Andre, you tell me if you're seeing this too in the teams that you teach across the US, is that I find that we forget the people managers need teaching and coaching just as much as anybody else in the organization. Yeah. Am I right?
Well, absolutely. We first have to look back at how promotions are given and then why they're accepted. So a lot of times promotions are given and accepted for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
So let's say you're in sales. You have $1 million sales earner. Well, eventually they're going to offer that salesperson the manager job. Come lead our sales team. And just because they're $1 million sales earner doesn't mean they know how to lead the people that are doing their old job.
1,000%. She could be a great shark, but she has no clue when it comes to emotional intelligence and active listening skills and taking good care of people, right?
Right. And then it's accepted. I remember my first promotion. And they never asked me why I wanted the position. They never asked me why I wanted to be a leader or define what it was outside of the administrative tasks. And my real reason, if I think about it now, it was because it was the next logical step. I just finished my master's. Okay. Or that's where the more money is, or that's where the more title is, or that may be where the security is. So I'm not accepting, and a lot of people aren't accepting it for what the position really is, which is now doing the people that are doing your old job plus the administrative tasks, marrying what you want to do with what they need now, and the curiosity part of what upper leaders need and what your frontline leaders or managers need. And then their development is now your job.
Yeah. So you wrote a book called The Complete Leader, Master the Art of Modern Leadership. And we're going to dive into, you've got so many super practical tips inside this book. I really enjoyed reading it. But we're going to frame today's conversation in talking about culture, because I believe that when you have great, engaged people managers, guess what? You have engaged teams, which builds that strong culture. So when people hear the word culture, I think they often think it's like abstract or it's HR that drives all of it. From your perspective, how does culture actually get built day to day by the people managers?
Well, I typically define culture very simply first. Whatever we talk about, let's define it. I say culture is what your business or team is like on the day-to-day when nobody's looking. It simply is that. So I'll have CEOs and all of the O's, they bring me in and they say what their culture is. And when I do get to meet with their frontline staff, because not every company brings me in to do training for their frontline staff. And when I meet with their frontline, I tell the CEO or whoever's bringing me in, I say, do I have your permission to tell you things that might be hard for you to hear after I meet with them? And there's been times I went back to them and said, remember that time where I said I might have to say some things that are hard for you to hear? And just like you're nodding, they're nodding. And I say, okay, you ready? And then I get to tell them what their culture really is compared to what they told me they thought it was.
Yeah. Perception and reality can be very different things.
Right. And that doesn't happen all the time. However, it has happened. And, getting that buy-in. So the premise goes like this. The higher executive leaders are the face of the company for middle management and frontline managers. Your middle management and frontline managers are the face of the company for the frontline employees. And the frontline employees are the face of the company for the world. So from the top on, every company has a mission statement, okay, that most of your frontline can't say. So when I meet with any leader, I say, okay, what's your leader's 3? It is the non-sexy part of leadership. Because I could talk about all the fun stuff, the 5 types of employees, the 5 types of leaders, and the 7 languages, and I can do all of that. At the end of the day, if you don't have the leader's 3, you have no guiding principle. You don't know what to say yes and no to. You don't have a culture. You have busy people winging it.
Yeah.
So, point number 1, I say, look, what's your vision for your team? And what are your vision factors? So, for example, we will be elite at this. We will be the best in our county in this service, whatever it is. Now, what are your vision factors? What are the 3 to 5 things that when you or your team does them consistently, the vision has to come true? So those 3 to 5 things make your yeses powerful and your nos meaningful. It allows you to give power to people when they come to you with ideas, venting, anything. And now we can say we make our yeses powerful because I'm giving you power to take over this, power over our reputation, yours and mine. But I'm also making sure that my nos, from a culture standpoint, are never personal. The no, when I say no, it's because it's not related to the vision factors, not because of my like for you or my dislike for you or my like for somebody else over you. So we maintaining a fair culture, okay? And then what are your expectations? When you do not preface your expectations, you are letting culture happen by happenstance. So I tell companies, you can use mine because as leaders, sometimes we talk too much. We all went to school, we're all super smart, or we're very intuitive learners. So we talk a lot. And we don't have to simplify it. If your 13-year-old can't understand these things, then it's too daggone long. So my expectations for anybody that I hire, outsource, or are even friends with are the 3 Ps. I need everybody being positive, passionate, and productive. 1 P without the other 2 are always a nightmare. You can't have somebody all positive, standing in the corner, smiling, not getting anything done. You can't have somebody that's super passionate and that's it, because passion doesn't equal ability. And if you have a lower ability, I need to know that. So how do I coach, mentor, train internally, externally? What do you need to know? And then we have to be very productive. Productive doesn't always mean positive because you could be backstabbing, lying, and cheating. And if we're only productive in times of crisis or product management or change, yes, that's good. I need us productive in the good times when revenue is high and everything is stable. You know, in my team, that's where we're at right now. Things are stable, and that's the most dangerous time because people, anyone, can start to lax, things slip. So it's, you know, creating that type of culture. And then last but not least, you need rules. You don't need a lot, but for a culture to exist to be positive, at least need some. A lot of companies adopt my final one. I have only three. One, please be on time. I want a culture of punctuality. Time matters. And a lot of great conversations can be had if you're early. You know, that would have never had happened because you were in the right place, in the right time, and a little bit to talk about. Connection matters. We go back and forth, Mary, in an email about the same thing 3 or 4 times. It's a mandatory 10-minute old school phone call. None of us need 17 more emails in our life. Then lastly, please accompany your problem with a suggested solution. Leaders build other leaders, and I can't build leaders if you're dropping problems off and running away. Here's the one of 3 things is going to happen when you come. We're either going to go with it because your idea is so great, or you're going to fine tune it because I got to show you what I see from my emails, the board or whomever, or it doesn't fit the vision factor. So can you fit that in your own time and bring it back and we'll reconvene? The last thing with all of that, we have to set a culture of telling people how to communicate with us. I do not believe in what they say, the golden rule, do unto others if you have them do unto you. No, do unto them the way they want. So for me, you know, we say we have open door policy, or you can come to me. That does not get the culture you see in your head. Okay, because when they come and you're not available, you're busy, you're irritated, they can't find you, or vice versa, then that creates the negative culture you didn't expect. And we as leaders are like, but I told you to come. And now we have a frustrated culture.
Yeah.
So what's your blueprint? I call it a leader's blueprint. What is the method you prefer people to come to you, whether it's to vent or share an idea or get access to you? What is the first sentence that they can say, and what information do you need that will help you help them? For me, it's an email. Please don't knock on my door. I'm a chatty Cathy, chatty Carl. I'll talk all day. Okay. I don't want a work phone. I don't want text. That's for my family. Like, I have enough dings and pings in my life. I don't want that. So email. The first sentence you could say, hey, Andre, I have an idea I think will help with this. What do you like about it? Anything you would fine tune or change? And here's the information. How much is this thing going to cost? Make, save, what departments are available or are touched by it? Who's touched by it? What process needs to be refined because of the yes? So all of these different things. So you do that, and not only do that, but speak it in meetings, and you live that. You create a culture that's revolving around that. And then people start policing each other when you're not there.
Yeah, this is so good. And I feel like I can see in my head thousands of people around the world listening to you right now, like feverishly writing down everything you're saying, Andre. And I just want to reassure everyone out there, we have show notes. So everything that we're talking about today, you're going to find in the show notes over at thesimplifiers.com. So if you're in your car trying to take notes, girl, I got you. So just go over to thesimplifiers.com for the show notes for this episode. But then also, Andre, what I hear in what you're saying, I love the leader's blueprint, because so many of us, as you were said earlier, you have busy people winging it. They don't really have that framework to build on. And that's what I do appreciate about this latest book, The Complete Leader, is a lot of these tools are right there for you to flip and go grab the thing you need and then test, iterate. see if it works and delivers results. See if it delivers greater trust and respect over, say, 30 days in your team meetings, greater openness of like sharing ideas. Is there psychological safety being built in you stepping up into this leader's blueprint? But I think most importantly, what I hear is that the importance that you are a role model in the organization to your people, to your peers, and I dare say to your boss, if you have one, because how you show up and how you do things is how you do everything, right?
Yeah. And you want to align people a task that is aligned with their superpower. That will help. Because I tell you what, if you put me in a task outside of my superpower, you're most likely not going to get my best self. And although I would need to be responsible to show up that way, it won't be effortless. So, that is really a big thing. You are a role model. I talk a lot about the importance of personal leadership. One, you're modeling a behavior for people to exhibit when they're around you and when you're not around. And it's as simple, but as powerful as how we walk into work. Is our head up, eye contact, smiling and greeting? How's our email etiquette? How are our apologies? How are we asking our people how they want us to come to them? I'm an email person. I have someone on my team that we can get our point across via email. However, the return email doesn't always read as positive as she really is. So I have found that old school phone call works 1,000% better. So, always, marrying what you want to do with what they need. But that personal leadership matters. And here's how it matters for an even bigger reason. As a leader, it is our job to sell our position to those under us. We cannot move up or on or get promoted or retire, take a vacation if nobody wants to be you.
Yeah. It's called succession planning, baby.
You need succession planning. Why would somebody want to be you when you're in your third marriage, fourth heart attack, complaining and venting and griping all the time, dragging yourself into work? You look miserable. You sound miserable. Yeah. That's a really hard sell. And people think they have to be that way for the job. And my thing is, if the job is okay with you looking like that and behaving that way, I don't want to work here.
No, that's not the culture that we want to replicate and celebrate in the organization. No. So, one of the things that you just said that really resonated with me that we have just hit upon a few episodes back, I'm going to put the link in the show notes for everyone, but is Cheryl Raphael Whitaker. She wrote a book about It Starts with Joy. And she specifically said the same exact thing that you said, how you show up at work with your head up, greeting people, your energy is different as a leader versus somebody who comes in head down, straight in their text, grumbles and then goes to their office and closes the door. That sets the tone for the entire day through. They go, yikes, I'm not going to go bother them because I'm too afraid to whatever.
Right.
So you have this framework that I love, and I really, really want you to come in and simplify it down for us. It's called the 5 points of your day. What are they, and why do they matter so much for people managers in particular?
Wow. Well, people managers, especially, and then I'm going to say everyone. I said, rarely do you create something and say that market is for everyone. I'm saying this is for everyone. You want better work-life harmony. You want great personal leadership. You want to enjoy the life of your dreams and what you work so hard for. This is it. So that first one is what we consume when we wake up in the morning. Most of us consume horrible things and then think the day is, and it's not just the day. It's that the day adds up to years and decades and then your whole life. So some people very nobly wake up and the first thing they do is check their email. Very noble, professional thing to do. However, like I know that email is quicksand. Whether it's good or bad, it's in there. And then once you're in, you can't get out. So we started our day thinking about our coworker, what they need and how this was this, and now I got to do this. Or people start watching the news. I've never watched 10 minutes of the news and felt better about life or the world. And then you check your phone. Nobody knows you better than your algorithm. So I'm like, I like scrolling and seeing funny things and doing all of this, but most of the time the things that are scrollable are not always positive. And even if, so you stay on something too long, you're having a problem in your marriage, having a problem at work, you stayed on it too long, you're getting it on the loop. Mm-hmm. So my big encouragement is what you are doing to start your day making you bitter or better. Is it making you bitter or better? So some people want to do push-ups. Some people want their coffee. So is it making you better? And if it's going to be your phone, we just did this with our daughter. Change the algorithm. You go to things that say fitness for men or women or youth or whatever you are. Like we did for her, fitness for kids, finance for kids, healthy relationships for kids. What was it? Spirituality for kids. So we put in those things. Oh, I like this person. Click, click. Within 2 days, her behavior changed. She comes to the gym with us. She's doing push-ups the right way. I've been trying to teach her to do push-ups the right way for 3 months. But Fitness for Kids showed a little girl her age doing a workout, and now she's doing that workout and doing it better than she has with me coming to the gym for a year.
Yeah, it's garbage in, garbage out. So you got to put good stuff in first thing in the morning, or dare say nothing at all with your phone in the morning, right?
Dare say. So whatever it is it making you bitter or better?
Yeah.
Point number 2 is organizing your day. Most people are stressed and anxious for a variety of reasons, but a lot of times we're trying to keep it all together in our head. Mm-hmm. Okay, I have 15, 20 things to do on a regular basis every day to run my business. To keep that all in my head, I could. However, even if I was successful, my mental wouldn't be optimal. So I strongly suggest old school notebook or on your phone, however you choose to do it, writing those things down. And the type A people love it. Cross off that list. The issue is when that's all we do, the list always wins. Busy always wins. The list always grows and leaks onto the next page. So from now on, at the top of the page, I say write wins. WINS. What's your wins for the day? I never have 15 to 20 wins. It's not even conceivable. I normally have 1 to 3 wins in a day. So if anything gets crossed off, you make sure your wins do. Sometimes we get so busy being busy, we forget. You might cross off a lot of things off your list, but not your wins. That's not a successful day.
Mm-hmm. And I also, just a point on that one, I do this as well. And I also think it's important to applaud and celebrate the tiny wins. Yes. I went for a 10-minute walk with my dog at lunchtime today and got away from my screen. I had a really productive conversation with somebody that was just a touch point, a micro moment, but it's important. And it was a win because it built further trust and respect between that relationship.
Absolutely.
Celebrate the little stuff too.
Absolutely. Put it under win so it gets crossed off. It's that thing to do. With organization, you also have to organize who we choose to hang out with. Everybody, you're a leader at a company or an employee. Everybody gets the queen wave. Say hi to everyone. Okay, it's personal leadership. However, you don't park it and stay and have long conversations with everyone because everyone's not as positive as you. And I teach some judo and how you say something and while they're buffering, get out of there so you don't get caught up in the gossip and the garbage, right?
Of course. Okay, go into number 3 then.
So number 3, and I love this, is relationship building and self-care. At some point, we all hit a wall. Mine tends to be around 2, 3 o'clock. Okay. At that time, this is time to do something for you in your life. Self-care means maybe you remember to eat, or maybe you eat healthy, or maybe you're going to scroll something cool and something good for you. Relationship building means, like you had mentioned, that reach out to somebody. Now it's time. Send your significant other that text of, hey, I was thinking about you. Hey, I love you. Hey, I miss you. Hey, I really like how you did this. Made me feel like this. Maybe you're reaching out to your parents. You're still fortunate enough to have them. Maybe you're saying something nice to your kids. That's not a command statement. Really saying just something nice to your kids. maybe it's reaching out and now planning date time and date nights, not only with your significant other, putting it in your calendar, maybe with your friends, putting it in your calendar, but also how about with you? What do you need? What's the me time you need? And putting it in your calendar. A great time for that. Point number 4 is how we return home. It is our job as leaders to return home the same way we want our employees showing up to work. Most of us return home very poorly or get returned to home very poorly. No affect, or mostly complaining about the day and how dumb and stupid everything was and grouchy, and your family wants to scatter because they don't want to hear it, or you're on a warpath and it's not even their fault. What does it take for you to walk through that door, or that door opens back up and you're so daggone good, they're glad to see you and you them? For me, I go to the gym. I can have the hardest workout in the gym, or I could go for a half hour and stretch. When I come back, it's free time for me and I reset my mind. I have more energy. The point is, whatever you do, whether it's the gym, taking a shower, taking a dog for a walk, locking yourself in the bathroom for 15 minutes because you got little kids and their fingers are under the door, when you come back from that thing, be so daggone better and good that the world gives you permission to go do it. Your world gives you permission to go do it. Your wife doesn't like that you go to the gym and leave the kids with her for another hour, but you so good coming back from that thing. She like, all right, go ahead. I like how you are.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. My daughter gets off the bus. I am 6 foot, 210 pounds, starfish, standing there with my arms spread out. She gets off that bus. I hug her and embarrass her in front of her friends. She'll talk about that when she gets older. She's going to want her husband to do it to their child getting off the bus.
These moments matter. It's incredibly important. So number 5, tell me about number 5.
Number 5 is the best question I think a human being can ask themselves on a consistent basis, especially in our quote unquote busy world, right? Before we go to bed from now on, I want everyone to quietly ask themselves, and even say it out loud. It sounds crazy talking to yourself, but if you don't like talking to you, who would, right? What was my biggest accomplishment of the day? It is such a simple yet so powerful question because your brain is so fast, you're going to answer it in a millisecond. What was my biggest accomplishment of the day? And the saddest part is I hear so many people, and unfortunately, so many women say they lay in bed at night and all they can think about is all the things that they didn't get done today and then all of the things that they have to do tomorrow. And the truth is, men think it too, entrepreneurs think it too, busy leaders think it too. And you know what you've achieved by 10 a.m. most days? Pat yourself on the back for that. That's wins. And everybody likes winning. And when you really look at it, you do 5 days a week. That's roughly 300 days throughout the year. You at least have 300 wins. And your brain is so fast, you're going to have more than one. And then you get to ask the person you're sleeping next to, hey, what was yours? I guarantee you couldn't guess their answer. I guarantee it. And now you get to hug them and say you're proud of them for something outside of being your partner. Okay? So many relationships can build at work and die in marriages because at work, you're working together for a common task and goal, and you're speaking the same language. But at home, you wind up, you're doing the duties of life. Well, wouldn't it be nice to know what each other is working on and what you could be proud of and ask them to explain? And now you're a part of a world that they're in 8 hours a day without you.
Yeah. And you're an incredibly supportive partner in that. I kind of look at it as like being a running partner. You're running alongside each other, each in your own race, but you are there to celebrate the wins, to catch them if they fall, and vice versa, right?
Yeah. And it's not the negative-based conversation of what went wrong at work.
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like these 5 points of the day, which is just so great. And again, it's in the show notes for you guys over at thesimplifiers.com. I feel like this is a great place to begin to help a manager stay steady and consistent. Because when you're steady and consistent, you are that role model for your team, especially on those stressful or chaotic days. Because, there are going to be days where there's fire drills, stop everything, do this, pull you from here, and all of that. But at least it helps you stay consistent and steady in the storm. What are your thoughts there?
Well, yes. And I will say, to take it one step further, it will keep you consistent. So two big things. One, it will keep you consistent. It will not make you for everyone. Okay? The ready will follow you. The not ready still have to follow high expectations and standards, but it doesn't mean they're on the team, really. However, when the not ready get ready, they'll know where to go because you're always consistent. Yeah. When they get on board, when they're ready, or when they have a question or life has just gotten too hard professionally or personally, they will come to you and say, how do you? How do you? And now you're even better by the time they get there. And it's amazing. The second part is with your consistency, you're still a human being. And one day you're going to crack. You're going to say something in a way that's not typical. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to be angry. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to do something that's going to be outside of that character of the 3 Ps: positive, passionate, productive.
Yep.
And at that moment, everybody's going to look and say, oh my goodness, they bleed. They're not a machine. See, I knew this was fake. Leaders bounce back faster than everybody else. So because you've practiced consistency and you know that's not you, we talk about a culture. We now get to say very quickly after that moment, whether it's that day or the next day, hey, I wanted to get everybody together. I wanted to apologize. That was not me. And although my feelings came out, that is not the standard of what we're going to do. So my apologies. We will get back on track and I will be doing this, and this moving forward. They will see you bleed, but they will see you self-correct faster than anybody else. And that's when the people who followed you, they confirm it and they give themselves grace. The people who weren't following you or thought it was all fake, they're now fully convinced.
Yeah, that's integrity. That's doing the right thing when no one's looking. And that's also that grace shows that you are human, right?
You're human.
There are some days that I just don't get enough sleep. And the next day I make terrible decisions because of it. And sometimes it triggers. But I think the key in what you just said there is owning up to it and bouncing back as quickly as possible. How can a manager tell if their behavior is actually helping the culture they want or maybe quietly hurting it? Because that's like the moment of truth. You may think that you are the best manager in the world and that you are just you don't need a book on this stuff. But reality is that it's quietly hurting the culture. What would you say to that?
I would say for me, and there could be so many different answers to this. For me, I know that I am doing a good job in setting the culture when two things are happening. So here's the technical part. When our communication, connection, and culture are positive and our results are positive, because those are two different things. You could have great connection, communication, and connection and culture and not have results in the actual project revenue processes. Okay. Yeah. You can also have great results. And this is where a lot of leaders make mistakes. They're getting great results, but their communication, connection, and culture are poor and there's high turnover. So I know things are successful when the 3 C's in that are the communication, connection, culture, and results are all rising. But I also hear my people saying my words. We feel as leaders when we're tired of saying our leaders 3. We're tired of saying the vision. I don't think I need to say it anymore. They must be getting on their nerves. Where I'm tired of saying the expectations. I'm tired of sharing the rules. Right when you're tired of saying it is when they're first starting to hear it.
Yeah.
So when I hear and I see in Slack or in email correspondence or back to me, I hear them saying the words that I use, the phrases that I use. I'm like, ooh, okay, we got something here. How I know it's not working is when there's the exact opposite. When you have less communication across departments and with staff, the job may still be getting done, but it feels
heavy.
It feels like significant check-in is required. There's little mistakes that are happening that didn't happen before. So it's for the leader, a lot of times it's because we failed to create a sense of urgency, of passion, and standards. And that's our job. We have to make sure all of them are always, things are urgent, but not rushed. That there's a sense of passion and pride for what we're doing. And there's a high standard from the big things to the little things.
I love it. And again, the book is called The Complete Leader, Master the Art of Modern Leadership, Evolving Your Leadership and That of Those You're Leading. You can find this at your local bookshop or anywhere where books are sold online. And your website is youevolvingnow.com if you guys are curious about what work that Andre's doing out in the world. Any big exciting projects coming up for you these days?
Yes, we're right underway with refining our Ask Andre, and that is an AI pocket leadership coach. My team has been absolutely amazing, and creating this was something that I saw in my head, and now to have it in your phone as a chat GPT has been awesome. It separates itself from a chat GPT. This is no knock on chat GPT. It will give you great answers, but sometimes it will make up its answers or it could be the wrong answer. So a big thing for us was that Ask Andre only pulls from my content.
It's brilliant.
You know, the 3 books, the online programs, everything that I teach, speaking engagements and trainings. And it has been absolutely astounding to use. I make a commitment to use it every day because if I'm going to put my reputation and my name on it, I want to make sure, that I want to feel the user experience. So we're constantly refining the user experience because we created it from scratch. So we love hearing what our users are saying and what they like and what they fine tune. And it came out in October 25. So it's been so much fun having that and to watch leaders around the world, whether it's the judges that I do training with in New Jersey, or the Office of Administration in Missouri, or aerospace engineers down in Florida, for them to go to it and ask, hey, I have a grouchy employee and they're getting their work done, but the interactions have become very negative with the team. What can I do? Or, hey, I have a boss that this, and what can I do? Or, hey, I mentioned earlier, things are smooth right now for a change. How do I lead through this? Or I just had the honor of speaking for Mass Mutual this week. I was there to help them lead through change. Hey, we're going through change or acquisition or this or that. How can I lead my people through it right now? And it doesn't always have to be problematic. Sometimes it'd be fun. Can you give me a quote on how to lead today? Or what's something that I could do nice for my team, as we transition? And my favorite, I'm biased, but after it we bookend it in You Evolving Now fashion. You ask it a question. It says, hey, what's your positive of the week? Because that's how we start our one-on-ones. That's how we start our trainings. Then answers your question in bullet point form. And hey, would you like a script on how to say this to your people? That script right there, just because you know what to say, doesn't always mean you know how to say it. So that part's been really cool. My son he just committed to a college as quarterback. And I don't often talk with youth or young men or women, but I was asked to speak to a sports team and they got Ask Andre. So the players can communicate better with the coaches can communicate better with the players, but the players can also communicate, especially young. They're operating off their feeling, and communication is something that they really haven't mastered yet, especially because all they do is text and Snapchat.
Yeah,
so
I love this.
Helping younger people really communicate better.
That's great. We will link it in the show notes for you guys if you're curious about Ask Andre. So as we wrap up, there's a couple of questions I like to ask everyone that comes on the podcast. And here we go, rapid fire. First off, what's one book or blog that you're reading these days that's inspiring you or poking holes and challenging your belief system?
I've been really on a rash of books from Patrick Lucioni. I'm probably butchering his last name. Please forgive me, Patrick. His books are all written in a story format. So it's a fiction book, but it's all based on leadership principles. So it's been very, very easy and quick reads that are very meaningful. This last one, that I'm on right now, is called Death by Meeting. So that's been, I always like to read. I'm a big nerd on whatever I love. So I'm a big reader, and I like his because they're story form, and that's not what I've been used to reading so far. So that's been really cool.
Love it. We'll link it in the show notes for you guys if you want to check that out. So tell me, who is somebody in your network, somebody that you know personally, that you feel is just up to brilliant things? We could shine a spotlight on them, and who knows, maybe one day we'll have them on the podcast. Who would that be?
I would say Elise Mitten, Mitten, from Interlace Communications. Now, I have known Elise for years. I do not have employees. I outsource with amazing professionals that have their own business, which makes leadership really, fun, because they say the hardest things to lead are volunteer people that don't need to be there. These are all businesses that have other people. So how do you all bring them together and really do great things? And Elise has been with me since the beginning. And she initially let me pay her with patience. And her being older, her mind is like voracious. Like, her being older and having such a voracious mind of learning new things and how to do new things. I've never met anyone like her. So she and Annie have created Ask Andre. So for her to create that from scratch with no experience in doing it and learning how to do it and getting mentored and coached and us evolving it along the way, it has been a superior task that I know that she's very, very proud of. We as a team are very, very proud of, and we get to impact the world doing something that we talked about in a meeting a year ago. And so cool. I've actually, all my kids have it. I have 4 kids, 3 old enough to use it. And it allowed me to put me in their pocket for the rest of their life, no matter what happens to dad.
It's incredible. Yeah. We'll link up Elise in the show notes for you guys if you're curious about the work that she does in the world. Again, over at thesimplifiers.com. I believe that gratitude and simplicity go hand in hand. Tell me, what are you grateful for today?
I am grateful for love. I'm grateful for the love that I have for my kids. I'm grateful for the love that I have for my wife. I'm grateful for the love that I have for myself. And I think a lot of us forget how important we are, things that we need, how far we've come. I've had a friend send me a picture from 10 years ago with us shaking hands, and I have a group of 3 friends that we all started our businesses 10 years ago, or a little bit more, but it was all around the same time. And looking at that picture, you sometimes forget how far you've come. So I'm very grateful for love, because without it, life really doesn't feel as good.
Not as good. Everything revolves around it. It's either love or fear, folks. That's it. That's to simplify it down. I 100% agree.
And sometimes out of love for yourself, like, you have to make some easy decisions, but some tough decisions, but it's all making you better. So that's cool.
Yeah. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for your time today on the podcast. Again, you can find him on LinkedIn and in our show notes to be able to connect with Andre directly. Get that Ask Andre AI in your pocket, and you're like good to go. So my final question for you today is this. Someone somewhere is listening to you and I right now, and they are thinking, yeah, I do want to be a great manager. I really do. But, and the big but comes out, The but is I am underwater at work. I have so many rising pressures, so many things that are on my shoulders. It just feels relentless. And I don't have any extra energy, I don't think, to actually do this and do this well. What's one thing you could whisper into their ear right now just to encourage them in this moment?
It's not going to sound like encouragement. And I'm going to have to quietly but boldly say, so what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot. And even if somebody took it away right now, there'll be more to fill its place because busy doesn't go anywhere. Everybody's their level of busy, whether it's at work or a homeless person under the bridge. Somebody elbow deep in a bag of chips, binge watching their favorite show is their definition of busy. Everybody busy, you're always going to be busy. You want to be busy or do you want to be better? And better means that you're going to have your one-on-one meetings with your people and you're going to schedule them out in a way that fits your schedule and who you are. And you're going to have them consistently because you may not have to change a lot. You simply have to get more connected. And connection doesn't start with protocol and policies. Okay. I started and I encourage you to start with, hey, what's your positive of the week? Don't share yours, ask them theirs. They ask you back, great. They're going to tell you things you couldn't guess. And now you have a better connection. Okay. And they're going to come into meetings when you stop canceling them and they're regular. They're going to say, I knew you were going to ask about my positive, so I thought about it. You're changing. Okay. Then you're going to say, what would you like to get out of our meeting here today? Let them share with you. Oh, I wanted to update my list, or I wanted to share with you this, or absolutely nothing. Okay. Now it's time to mesh goals. Here's what I got. Here's what I need. Here's what's on my list. Always ask them, hey, what are you currently working on? Because they might be ready to burn out and leave or burn out and stay, or bore out and leave or bore out and stay. Okay, so now our plan over the next week or month, however the duration is, this is what we're working on, right? Okay, great. Okay, by the way, what was your biggest takeaway from our meeting here today? Whatever they say is more important and real to them than what you were going to say. If you feel compelled to share yours, you share first. They always end it. You do that on a consistent basis with your team. You will know them. You will know what they want. You will know what they need. You will see traction build. And that is the best meeting and most powerful meeting that you can have. So I respectfully tell leaders from stage, respectfully, so what? You want to be a better leader. That would be like me saying, I want to be a better husband, but not knowing what my wife needs for me to be a better husband. But I'm busy doing what I need to do. I'm busy doing the dishes.
Yeah. 1,000%. Andre, thank you so much for your time today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. And thank you guys for listening. Hope it resonated.